So we are going to do something just a little bit different today, and we are going to go through every single bottle of whiskey I obtained in April. Now, we're not going to talk about barrel pick samples or small sample bottles. Like, we're talking about full-size 375s or 750 milliliter bottles that I obtained from the first until the last day of the month. Now, I've wanted to do this video for a while, but it's actually kind of hard for us because it just requires a level of organization that I do not possess, because you got to keep up with all of them. But from the start of the month, I was like, let's put these in a particular place. If we need them, we'll get them out, try to make sure they get back. I think I've been able to manage to keep all of them in one place. So I think this is going to be all, minus maybe some that we gave away. And I know there's at least one we gave away. Who knows, earlier in the month, sometimes I give whiskey away. We're going to try to go through these in roughly the order in which I obtained them. At the end of this video, like right at the end of the month, I got 2 bottles that I'm super excited about. Honestly, probably the most exciting new bottles of whiskey I've tried in quite some time. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But right now, I want you to go down in the comments and I want you to guess how many bottles of whiskey I got in the month of April. It's a serious number. I mean, I don't know if it's absurd. It's absurd to me. It feels absurd to me. Y'all may think we get more absurd, but just know this is 1 month of whiskey. Now, the first event we did early in the month was Spillway Wine and Spirits. And so a lot of these bottles, we got some from different places, got some from the Old Soul events, and we didn't get any from the actual Spillway lottery. We didn't, last year we got 50 something bottles from that. Mostly from like their reps that were just trying to get us to sample whiskey that we might talk about, but we didn't take any from the lottery. We didn't even enter, didn't pull a single bottle, still left with a lot of whiskey because folks like y'all brought them that wanted me to sample. So we're gonna run through some of those. I'm going to start with one in particular. This is the Brewzle B Team pick right here. So when we were at Cathead Distilling, who produces Old Soul, we had an event with 200 or so people at it. And if you were there early, if you were like one of the first 75 folks in, you could get in line, you could try a few different barrels, pick your favorite. They bottled it right there on the line. And man, did y'all pick a nice barrel. Now, I think the rest of these are at Spillway right now in Brandon, Mississippi, if they haven't already sold out of them. I know they landed last week and they had sold about half of them, but there might be still a few left laying around if you're interested. So this is bottle number 1, Old Soul. We're gonna try to slide them. I'm gonna have to move them in shifts. I don't have enough room for all of them to show on the bar at one time. But we got that one, but we also got quite a few from Old Soul, some backup bottles, different things. Like we got, this is our Brewzle Butter Pecan pick right here. So while we were there, they bottled this one and I was able to secure a few that didn't make it into a case. So got that one right there. That's 2 bottles. We also picked up an Old Soul Tintype number 2, which I did not have. Fantastic bottle of whiskey right there. And then we've got these Old Souls as well. And these are just kind of backup bottles. So that's an extra B Team pick. That is an extra B Team pick. This is another one of the butter pecans, so we kind of have them back up here at the bar. An extra B Team pick there in the box, another butter pecan pick, and another butter pecan pick. So this is what, 9 total from Old Soul. No need to open all of those, so we are officially at 9 bottles from day 1. Like pretty much day 1, like the first day we obtained, what date was it, the 5th? I think this was the 4th, something like that. Oh, man, that one is freaking delicious. If y'all haven't had an Old Soul Tintype though, you should give it a try. Now ours are, fruity, light, sweet. These Tintypes tend to be a little darker, on the fruitiness. Oh yeah, like a dark fruit, a little bit of oakiness on the mid palate, and then it dissipates to a nice sweetness. Really nice bottle. But then the next day, we had the event at Spillway Wine and Spirits. And so A lot of y'all brought us bottles there. We got this one right here. I think J-Rock gave us this one. This is Western Reserve straight bourbon whiskey. I think I got that one from J-Rock, who brought us several bottles. We got a Weldon Mills right here, and another Weldon Mills, which were interesting, a little youthful. We also got this Ron Azalco 18-year-old private reserve rum, which is like just a vanilla bomb. Like, that thing's crazy. I don't know if I've ever had a rum, almost artificially tasting. That's how vanilla forward that particular bottle was. But we also ended up with a couple, like I got one and a backup bottle. It's not Wild Turkey 101. These are the Infinity Blend. So while we were at Spillway Wine and Spirits, we decided to fill a barrel with whiskey, like let people bring a bottle, pour it into the barrel, let it sit there for a little while, then we pumped it back out and filled up the bottles. So I put a couple of bottles in there to prime it, and we pumped these back out. So these were left over after everyone got their bottles. It was good. I gave it a 6 out of 10 at the event. Like, nice, sweet, not as good as some of the bottles that went in, but honestly probably better than most of the bottles that went in there. And now that it's set in the bottle, I actually think it's a little better. Like, it's still sweet, it's still kind of one note, not a ton of complexity, but a really nice pour. From Spillway, we got a few more things that folks brought us. A bottle of weed bourbon, which, I mean, you see the color on that. Better than I expected. I didn't know what to expect out of weed bourbon. Better than I expected, still not necessarily there yet. Couple of Old Raleighs, which the Old Raleigh, the bottle is a 10 out of 10, out of this world. The whiskey's good, still a little youthful and young for me, but let's give one a try. This one is the Honey Finish Old Raleigh. Still the same, nice, sweet, honey flavored, just a little young. Like, I want a little more depth to it. I want a little more proof. I like what they're doing. They're headed in the right direction. Their stuff's gonna be just out of this world when it gets, 6 or 7 years old. So what does that put us up to? They'll show the number on the screen, but I wanna keep up so I can tell what the number is, and I'm rolling through these pretty quick. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we are at 18 bottles so far. Let me know if you thought that was gonna be more or less. Like, this is literally the first weekend. We had, 3 or 4 events, really 4 ways we got whiskey. We had a bourbon hunt, 2 bourbon hunts. We had this event at Spillway, and then we had stuff that was just randomly mailed to us. And then we went up to Louisville and did some stuff up there too. So we got several different ways we obtained whiskey this month. I also got this guy right here, which is the Bourbon Lore 18 barrel blend from Ben Holiday. Now, my box is different because Holiday sent it to us. It doesn't have the Bourbon Lore box. It says Bourbon Lore on the bottle right there, but I didn't get like the neck tag and their box. I just got the one from Holiday Distillery, but should be the same. I think this was what they sold at the distillery. And it's really not, that's a really good bottle of whiskey. But all the stuff from Holiday is a really good bottle of whiskey. So I don't know if that one's particularly better than a normal Holiday. Probably a step up from the normal Holiday small batch. I don't know if I care for it more than some of the single barrels I've had though. Because with Holiday stuff, it's the small batch, it's the Rickhouse proof, it's the single barrel Rickhouse proof. So this is probably right in there. Might be a little better than some of the Rickhouse proof bourbon that I've had, but I've had some really out of this world single barrels. And so I'm not sure it bats with those, but really nice bottle. Really awesome thing they did there with Bourbon Lore. All right, so what else have we got? Oh, this is still Spillway stuff, sorry. This is Alliance Distilling Company, small distillery, brought me some things to try. Again, fairly young, fairly youthful, but interesting stuff for sure. We are still on the first weekend And we are 21 bottles in with another box here. What is in this box? Ooh, this is a 15-year-old from Old Soul. Now, I tried this. Somebody bought one and opened it. I'm pretty certain it's Jim Beam. It tastes like a Jim Beam, but a 15-year-old Jim Beam. So really exciting bottle to have there. We got a Davidson Reserve that someone brought to us that I have not tried yet. Oh, J-Rock hooked me up here again. Honestly, if you find one of these red labels, this is one of the bottles I'm most excited about. So we got 3 bottles this month that I am super excited about, and this being one of them. Now, I got one of these at Old Dominic when I was there when we did the distillery takeover. So I've got one open. I'm not gonna open this one, but this is the 117 proof cask strength Burgundy label, Old Dominic, high rye bourbon. It's like 44% rye, I believe. I love it. Like, you gotta like a little rye spice, but that is right up my freaking alley right now. You know, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I might not have appreciated that bottle, but right now, I'm digging it. This is Umiki, U-M-I-K-I. No clue, haven't opened it. We'll get around to trying it at some point. Not going to open it. And then another one of those Old Dom. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 bottles, if I'm counting right. I'm probably not. If I'm not right, the screen will correct me. You know, I'm sure the editors will let us know. So 25 bottles in the first weekend. So if you need to go down and adjust your estimate, don't adjust it, post a new comment and say, hey, reply to your comment and say, okay, I'm gonna adjust my number at this point because we're 1 week in. It doesn't keep up at this pace. I will let you know that. We're not gonna do this times 4. I don't think. We've still got boxes of whiskey to go through, so we will find out. Let me get these off the bar right now, and then we will move to the next bourbon hunt we did and see what bottles we found there. Okay, that took a little longer than anticipated. We are back though. I got these cleaned off and I literally could not find this whiskey. I had put it in an unconventional place. It was in my luggage. I'd thrown it in a bedroom. When I unpacked my luggage, forgot it was in there. Broke the whole house apart trying to locate it and could not. But I think we're on 25, bottle 25. It literally was an hour ago when I filmed that. I think this is 26. This is Bardstown Discovery Series 11. Good bottle. I enjoyed it. You know, not like the price is kind of steep on those, but this is one I'm really excited about. This wasn't even on my exciting list. Like, that's what's crazy, is that I got so much exciting whiskey this month that this one didn't even make the list. Now, we've bought several barrels of OZ Tyler, which is now Green River, if I'm not mistaken. And so we get some older cask strength OZ Tyler stuff, mostly through Short Barrel. I was able to try a Green River store pick. That's what this is, store pick, cask strength store pick. Now this one is 119 proof. And again, I tried some of these up in Louisville this past weekend. One of them was good. One of them was out of this world good. And that one's kind of in between. Nice, bright, fruity flavors. This one is the 2024 New Orleans Bourbon Festival pick, which we were scheduled to go, got canceled at the last minute. Well, I didn't cancel it. It got canceled, or the event didn't. Us going got canceled. Really nice pick though, like cask strength, a little bit older Green River. Like, these guys are gonna be putting out such good whiskey, because their stuff just gets better and better and better the older it is. So I think we're at 27 bottles now. The screen will tell you if I'm wrong. We also got a couple of things I'm excited about. I had samples of these, but did not actually have bottles, and that is Still Austin Blue and Red Corn. I don't know what red corn is. I'm assuming that's like Bloody Butcher corn, like heirloom grains. Now, with that though, most of the Bloody Butcher, all the Bloody Butcher stuff I've had has been like really dusty, like it just, like your grandpa's attic. That's the best way to describe it. That's how I've described almost all of them, like just a serious kind of dry dustiness on them. The sample of this one I had didn't have that, which is weird because I just assumed that was just a built-in impact of an heirloom grain. Now, it says red corn. It doesn't say heirloom grain. I don't know if they're doing it different. I don't know. I'm sure it says on the bottle, but I'm into drinking. I'm not into reading. And that's nice. That's a very pleasant whiskey. Honestly, I might like that better than their normal stuff, and I like their normal stuff. In the samples, I was a little more of a fan of the blue corn than the red corn. It was just a little sweeter to me. So let's try and see what happens. Yeah, I'm still more of a fan of that. Like, I like this. Man, I'm really into that one. It's a nice, bright, fruity sweetness. I don't know if it's something I would drink every day, but really, really interesting. So what are we at? 27, 8, 9, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. We are at 29 bottles. We also bought a McLaren Jack Daniels. I don't want a McLaren Jack Daniels. I got a friend, big F1 fan, big fan of McLarens. He wanted one. I come across one. This one will be gifted to him, but still 30 bottles. Then we bought a Ragged Branch Cowboy Cut, and not super excited about this one. Like, you start talking about cowboys and I'm thinking it's just gonna taste like leather and super oaky, but like, you never know. I want to find something, like, I like the branding. The folks seem really awesome at Ragged Branch. I'd really like to find something of theirs to be super excited about. So maybe this is it. I've never seen their Cowboy Cut, and it is exactly what I thought. It's better than I thought, though. It's better than I thought. It's got some significant barrel char impact. It's got like a very tobacco oaky tea note, but it's got a raisiny sweetness. Again, I would say small barrels for that, but I like it. Sometimes with the small barrels, if you do it in small barrels or it gets a lot of heat, you get a lot of barrel impact. You get a lot of, like, a raisin notes is how it hits my palate. This has a ton of that. Sometimes, like with the Roaming Man rye whiskey, I really dig it. Like, I think it goes really well with the rye. In this case, I think that barrel char impact, those raisin notes, actually goes really well with the tobacco tea. It's kind of like a Garrison Brothers to me in that I'll enjoy it occasionally, probably be really good with a cigar. Not something I'm gonna sit down and drink every day though, but better than I expected that to be. And that one was strongly flavored enough that we got to get a fresh Glencairn. Like, I've just been reusing, I don't want to have to wash 100 Glencairns. So we've been reusing them, but that one's so strong, definitely need to have a fresh one. So we are at, what, 31? And again, the editors will be correcting me if I am wrong. So that was the second weekend, the Mandeville, Louisiana Bourbon Hunt. We pulled those from. Much more reserved the second weekend. Actually, I think this might have been the third weekend. I think I may have taken the second weekend completely off. This was the third weekend of the month, or the third week of the month. Now I want to move on to the stuff we got while we were in Louisville, and then we'll get to stuff that was like just sent to us in the mail. The Louisville hunt, I got one bottle in particular there. Y'all need to know about this bottle. Like, it is something serious. Let me grab those. All right, this is Louisiana Bourbon Hunting and a pick with Pursuit Spirits. Bottle number 32 right here is wrapped in tissue and all fancy like, but this is a Peerless Double Oaked. One of Will's favorite, actually Will's favorite whiskey as far as I can tell, maybe outside of the 13th Colony Double Oak that's complete and total unobtainium. He keeps threatening to take my bottle, so I figured while I was up there, I might as well just buy one for Will. So this is another one that'll be moved on to Will if I don't do something here to break it. Second bottle, a Weller Antique 107. So 32, 33. We also bought a Michter's 10 along with this one. You'll see once the video comes out. We had to do a little haggling and negotiation. I don't think that'll actually make it on camera. The gentleman in the store is like, I don't want any of that on camera. Like, you can film in the store, but I don't want me talking on camera. Like, I'm kind of shy. So don't know if it'll make it, but I bought this and a Michter's 10 in a package deal. Paid pretty close to full secondary on this one, which is still not bad. Like, under $100, I buy this bottle. I love it that much. Like, really, one of my favorite bottles. Under $100, if I'm low on them, I'll just buy it because I like it that much. But then I got a Michter's 10 for less than secondary, but more than MSRP. But more than a reasonable price because it's one of my favorite bottles, although I don't have the Michter's 10 here because I gave it away. And you'll see in that video who I gave it to and why I gave it to them. So we'll count it because I got it, but then I moved it on. So I think with those two, it's 34 bottles so far, I believe. Again, sorry if I'm wrong. We also got this, which is a Copper and Kings bourbon, and it's finished in apple brandy barrels. This was apparently a Kentucky only release that a lot of folks were excited about. We went to Cox's Evergreen Liquors, I believe, and we bought a lot of whiskey there, this being one of them. We tried it there. Pretty freaking good, I liked it. This one being a Monk's Road single barrel. We'll try that one later, but that's 36. We also bought a Rabbit Hole Cave Hill cask strength. Now, in our last release for the Brewzle Club, which if you want to be a part of those releases, you can join at patreon.com/Brewzle. We had a high gold cask strength, not our pick, was somebody else's pick, but we were able to take that barrel and provide it to our members. And honestly, the Rabbit Hole stuff at cask strength, that high gold at cask strength was out of this world. I've never had a Cave Hill. I think this is their 4 grain. Again, don't know off the top of my head. I think it is. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It was pricey. I don't remember the exact cost. The video will show that. But Rabbit Hole, so the Rabbit Hole stuff, their normal release stuff is good. It's just too subtle for me. Like, I need to be slapped around a little bit. And this is more my jam right here. But then obviously for a cask strength, you're paying a premium for it. But that is a really nice bottle. I think that's 30, I think that's 37. I keep forgetting. I need to write it down. I think that's 37. And I got number 38 right here, my first James Pepper decanter. But also the next one, 39, I believe. I don't know. I'll go quick counting. They'll show on the screen another one of these pepper decanters. I believe the proof's the same on these. These are the same. But these are the 108 proof. So this is the second batch, or at least the next batch. I don't know if they've done multiple ones, but I believe this is the second batch of these pepper decanters. I had the first batch. I didn't have a bottle. We passed on it on a bourbon hunt. We didn't know. I had a pepper, didn't love it. This one came out. I passed on it because I didn't love the one I bought. And everybody in the comments was like, dude, you really missed out. And you're right. I tried somebody else's and I missed out. It's a beautiful bottle. It's kind of this like almost pineapple-like decanter. Let's see if the 108 proof, and I think this one's a few proof points higher than the last one. I don't know if I like it as much as I remember, like in memory, liked the last one. I also just had that Cave Hill cask strength that I really enjoyed. It's still a nice bottle though. Like, this is still a really nice bottle, and I'm glad I bought a couple of those. Next bottle, 12-year-old Bullet Rye. I had this at a guy's house while I was in Louisville. We tried this bottle, and I liked it so much, I'm gonna try it again right now, because the only thing keeping this from being out of this world is the proof. It is, I don't know, was it 92 proof, something like that? I can't even freaking see. Bullet 95 rye. So this is 95.5 MGP. It looks like 46% alcohol by volume. So I'm not in love with the proof. Smells nice, very rye forward though. You gotta be into that ryeness, that spearmint. The oakiness on this one is a little more forward and dusty than the one I had at the guy's house. Now maybe we had just had a bunch of different samples from different things and my palate was more acclimated to ryes. I don't remember the exact progression. So it's a little dry oakiness, which I'm not usually a fan of. I think it works really well with the spearmint. I would take a barrel pick of that if I could get it at cask strength all day long. Pretty good stuff. If you like ryes, and this thing, I don't forget the price. It was like 40 something bucks, I think. Like super cheap for a 12-year-old MGP rye. Now apparently this was, I was told, this was like proprietary 4-bullet, but like it's MGP 95.5. Like I don't know how that works because I think MGP makes a lot of 95.5 for a lot of folks. So take that with a grain of salt, but it's pretty freaking good if you like ryes. All right, that is the end of the Louisville Bourbon Hunt. And now we're gonna move on to the Pursuit Spirits barrel pick. I picked up some bottles from those also on the Louisville trip. This right here is the bottle your own. So they have an experience to where you can go in, they've got a bunch of private blends that they've rebarreled. You can try those. If you like one, you get to thief it out, put it in a bottle yourself, and then go through the whole bottling process. And so this was our custom blend, our custom bottle right there. Really fun experience. That video will be coming out soon, hopefully, maybe in a few weeks. I'm expecting to rush this one out because I want it to be close to April because this is the April haul. Next, we got a Pursuit United. I don't know if there's a batch or something on this, but we got a bottle of Pursuit United. We also got a bottle of Pursuit United. Blended straight bourbon whiskey. This one is blended straight bourbon whiskey finished in toasted American and French oak. Oh, okay, so this one was something somebody gave me. One of the patrons that came along on the pick gave me a Dragon's Milk Origin, which we tried one of the bottles he had. Pretty interesting, like very like tangerine forward, but none of this matters. None of this matters, okay? Pay no attention, like, okay, maybe there's some good bottles here. Buy some of these bottles, help some of these brands out. But the next bottle is the bottle you need to pay attention to. Like this is the one that matters right here. And this is the Pursuit United Double Oaked. We bought 3 barrels from Pursuit for the Brewzle Club. And we got 2 double oaks. Now it's a different, they're using oak staves. And this is completely different than what we bought. What we bought tasted a lot like a toasted barrel. Like this is so good, you can't use a dirty Glen for this one. There's no way. This is fresh Glencairn worthy right here. Like I'm even gonna drop a Frey Ranch Glencairn on there because that's how much I respect this whiskey. This might be, it's definitely one of the top 2 or 3 most exciting whiskeys I've tried so far this year. This is, for me, and I love the guys at Pursuit. I love what they're doing. I love their story. This is the first thing from them that is like hype worthy. Like they make good whiskey. If you see it and you're okay with the price point, support that brand. This is the first thing that, I don't care what the price point is. If you see it, you had better buy this bottle of whiskey. Now, as far as I know, this is just a distillery only release for now. So they worked with ISC, I believe it is. I don't know, but they worked with one of the barrel companies to develop a specific stave profile that I need to know what it is. I need it in my life because I need to make whiskey that tastes like this right here. This is the one, like out of everything we've tried so far, and I've tried some good stuff. I mean, not Weller, come on. The Antique 107, that's my girlfriend for a long time right there. But out of all the new stuff we've tried, honestly, out of everything we actually poured, because we didn't pour the Weller, this is the one so far that has me the most excited. Now we got one more that I'm equally as excited about, we'll get to in just a minute. But this one, dude, it is just caramel butterscotch. When I tried this at their facility. I thought it was artificially flavored. Like I was like, there's no way you got this naturally. There's no way that you just used oak to create this flavor. And it just tastes like, not Werther's Original, because Werther's Original is like, that's butterscotch, but that's kind of simple. Like super strong, concentrated butterscotch. And then it delivers all of that on the palate. Like these guys have their first two, and it's my opinion. You may find it completely different. You may not love it as much as I do, but Pursuit United has found their first like hype-worthy, unicorn-worthy, secondary market-worthy whiskey right here with this caramel forward double oak. Now you gotta like sweetness. You gotta like those caramel forward, butterscotch forward flavors, but I do, like I like it. And so if you get a chance, if they're distillery only, like if you're around Louisville, if you roll into Louisville, roll by Pursuit United, pick up a bottle of this double oak right here and tell them that Brewzle sent you. Like please tell them that I sent you and I need a barrel. I don't want a bottle, I want a barrel of this right here, 2 or 3. And I want the stave profile so I can make my own. I don't know if I'm gonna get that, but I'll take a couple of barrels. I don't know what number we're to, but that is the end of the Louisville trip. And now we're gonna get to stuff that just randomly arrived in the mail. So I hate that I can't keep up. I'm gonna try to count right now. Hold on just a second. Okay, so if I'm counting right, we're at 45 bottles. But again, the editors can correct me on that. Next thing that showed up in the mail, a bottle of Detling. And we're gonna try this one right now because this is the Brewzle barrel pick. This is the high rye Detling. Now Detling, if you've seen that video, if you haven't seen that video, please go watch that video. It's doing pretty well. I'm assuming most of you that would watch this have watched that. Dude just likes to make whiskey. He doesn't really care about people buying it so much. Like he has to sell it. He would love to just keep it all, but he has to sell it to keep the business going. He roasts his malt, so it has a high malt impact. It tastes like a high malt whiskey, but we bought this one, which I think is the high rye. I'm about to confirm, I think this is the high rye. Yeah, so that is the higher rye version. So he is moving toward a high rye whiskey. I think it may actually be a rye whiskey. This was a rye bourbon version, kind of an early iteration of the rye whiskey he's working on. The rye kind of tames down, like the like roasted malty grains are kind of minimized on this. And the rye shines through. Like his normal stuff is not to my flavor profile. I don't like the super like malty forward whiskey, and the roasted malts are very malty forward. And so a lot of folks do like it though, like it's very like chocolate forward. This is the best barrel of whiskey that I've ever tried from Detling. The rye is just so good. The malt is still there. There's still a really high malt impact, but it's not as strong as its normal stuff. But then there's a nice rye spiciness that just tames it down. That is such a good bottle of whiskey. Really like that one. Bama Shines. So I think this is moonshine that's been put in a barrel. We'll try that at some point in the future. Not gonna try it on this video right here. So I think we're roughly at 47. I gotta grab another box over there, whiskey. We'll be back in just a second. All right, it's getting crowded here on the bar. There's lots of stuff to deal with. And again, I think, did I say 47? I think we're at 47-ish. This is a Frey Ranch candle in a straight, oh my God, that smells so good. It's in a rye bottle. I have a Frey candle over here. And this one's more vanilla. Oh my God, that's a better candle. I really like that candle. So it doesn't count as a bottle though, so don't put that one up on the bottle list, but it's in there. We got a couple of Glencairns, and then this is where it gets interesting because these are the wheated barrels. So if you watch the Frey video again, like if you haven't watched the Frey video, one of my favorite videos we've ever done. Like I'm so excited about that video. Like that is the type of stuff, the Detling video, the Frey Ranch video, the Crittenden's video, like that's exactly what I want to do with this channel. And I appreciate all those folks that support those types of videos because, you know, really what we want out of this channel is to have an impact. So they're doing a lot of things right, but maybe they don't have the marketing budget. Like Frey will be fine without me. They make fantastic whiskey. They're doing everything right. But, you know, some of these folks, Crittenden's, Detling, we could really have an impact. Ooh, almost dropped that. That would have been bad news right there because these are the bottles I'm most excited about out of this bunch, maybe outside of that double oak from Pursuit. And if you watch that video, these are the two 100% wheated barrels that we tried. Now, Frey is supposed to be releasing these distillery only at some point. As of filming, and I'm hoping this comes out like really soon. And if this comes out really soon, as of this release, they have not yet released these. So you need to run over, join their mailing list. If you're local, Lord have mercy, you better like go ahead and get on their list, figure out when they're doing it, and show up. So this one is 134 proof. This one is 116 proof. These should be duplicates. Yeah, 134 and 116. So I'm going to crack these open. We're gonna start with the lower proof and work our way to the higher proof. But if you watch that video, so toward the end, we hop into the rick house and we just try barrels. And I tried everything I had. Like I cut a lot of it out because we just like kept asking and kept asking and kept asking. And I was like, I need this barrel. I need this barrel. I need to bring this barrel to more people. And they were pretty hard set on selling it at the distillery, rightfully so, because my goodness, that is just so cream cheese forward. It has a little more barrel impact than I remember, right? That one is cream cheese on the nose. It's cream cheese on the front that softens into like a light raisiny flavor. So good though. Like my goodness, it's not as good as I remember. Like there's more barrel impact. I want to say that's the second one I tried at the distillery, and I absolutely love it. Like I don't want to I'm trying to not oversell it. Like I'm trying to not be overly enthusiastic about a bottle, but it's just really hard to hide how much I like that bottle right there. But the reason I tried these in order is I expect that one to be a step up. Let's try it. I think this one was the one that was just like over the top cream cheese. And we are about to find out. So luckily we dropped our video right before they're scheduled to release these. So they sent us a little bit of their stock there. If we'd have waited another month, I'm not sure I don't know when they're releasing them, but I would assume these would be gone and we wouldn't have got them. But shout out to Gary. I don't know if y'all remember Gary from that video, but Gary's been calling Frey Ranch and telling them they need to send us some bottles. So thank you, Gary, I appreciate that. My goodness. It's not as cream cheese forward as I remember, but it's probably better. Like it's probably better. It's definitely some cream cheese, dark fruit through the middle of the palate. Like really still, for 134 proof, it does not drink like it at all. So we obtained a lot of really nice bottles of whiskey this last month, but I think it was like 51 bottles, something like that. Again, editors will correct me if I have miscounted. These are the three that stand out the most. Like these are the three that I will savor, I will take my time with, I will share. Everybody who comes to my bar here at the house will have to try these 3 bottles of whiskey. Because a lot of the stuff I got is good. Like, it's really good. The Detling rye right here, honestly, I'll probably share that one pretty strong as well, but these are the ones that are different, that are unique, that are craft, that are, you know, smaller brands, non-Kentucky. Well, I mean, this is a Kentucky brand, but you get what I'm saying. Like, smaller brands, non-mainstream brands that are doing really interesting things. And these are the ones that are so much different than anything else you can get on the market right now. And these are the types of folks I want to support. Like, these are different. Like, nobody has anything. You let me know, but I've never had anything on the market that tastes like these 4 bottles that I have right here. So if you're gonna buy something unique. Let me know if you made it this far. Hit me with Bottle Kill. Also, let me know if you like this video format. Should we do this every single month? I mean, this month was a big month. 50 plus bottles this month was a lot of freaking whiskey. We don't do that every month, but we do it a lot of months. Like, there are a lot that we're doing at least 20, 30, 40 bottles. This one was a little bigger, like the Spillway. We had a couple of big bourbon hunts, a couple of big events that added to our count, but man, we are running out of space. Like, we got to figure out where we're going to store all of these bottles of whiskey, or we're going to have to figure out how we drink them all. So y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like this type of video? Did we not do well? How could we make these better? Oh, still not as good as this this new Frey candle. Oh, that's where it's at right there. That's the new bar candle right there. Appreciate y'all watching all the way to the end. See y'all in the next one.